Welcome to the Pinnacle podcast. This is our official podcast from Pinnacle Performance, where we share stories, coaching wisdom, mindset shifts, and everything in between. It's not about shouting over each other, although sometimes we do. And it's about honest conversations and practical insights, building a stronger community, and in and outside the gym. So Ross is busy stretching, which is brilliant. I'm joined by Andy and Ross, my co-hosts. Welcome, guys. We like to start our podcast with learnings. And so I have a learning this week. I thought I'd go first. I have probably for the last 5 years had a mole on my arm, which my friend has been...
Mole. Mole.
I try to be serious. My friend has been telling me to go and get it sorted, and
Okay, carry on.
And I haven't, but circumstantially I've had some more time, and so last week I finally went and had it removed. The reason why it's relevant to here is because this week's episode is all about training around injury, and I am guilty, putting my hand up, for thinking because I've got a problem on my arm, I can't come to the gym and train. So my learning this week is twofold. One is if you've got something that's looking a bit dodgy, do go and get it checked out, because it might be not your whole self, Ross.
My mustache.
Get it checked out too. And this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is training around injury. But before we do that, Ross, I'd love to hear what your learning of the week is.
Halo Top ice cream. I've just discovered it. I might be late to this, but I was sat at home the other night, and I'd had some food. I'm trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment, a bit of excess fluff that I don't want hanging around, which means dull, boring, tasteless food. And I was sort of craving something sweet, so got Emma on the blower, the nutritionist, and was like, "What can I have that's sweet, low calorie that I can have at 8 o'clock at night?" She said, "Go get yourself some Halo Top ice cream." I was like, "Oh, what is that?" So I walked down to the co-op. Got myself a tub, 370 calories and a whole tub of ice cream. So I smashed the whole lot. It tastes pretty good, actually. It's not quite as heavy and dense as normal ice cream.
What makes it so different?
I think it's got artificial sweetener in it instead of
brilliant.
sugar, and all the good stuff. And
Does it taste of something?
It does taste really good, actually. I'm not normally a big chocolate fan, but I had gooey chocks. That's all they had. But I've since been enlightened to honeycomb, and that's
nice.
Game changer.
Nice.
That's my learning.
So no shameless plug. If Halo wanted to sponsor or support the podcast, we'd love to have you on board. ever the opportunist, eh?
Why are my learnings always really serious?
Yours are very deep and meaningful. I love it.
Too deep all the time. Ross is yawning. That's normal.
Tell us. We want to know.
GCSEs, eh?
Oh, yes, it's been GCSE week.
Yeah.
How did your one get on?
Well, actually, there was also college results where my Lily got triple distinction.
What?
Which is incredible at college.
Ross would like to know what that means.
Yeah, what is that? I can't even spell distinction.
I can't spell distinction. But she done that, which is like incredible. And the reason why I'm mentioning that and diverting from GCSEs is because you can dial in at college a little bit. Isn't it incredible what children do at secondary school?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, primary school, it's a bit loose in the beginning, isn't it? Then you learn, you do a few subjects. It's not too bad, is it? But it's not hugely serious. Then you go to secondary school, and hats off to my daughter and every other parent in the country that's got someone doing GCSEs, because to learn all those subjects and the emotions that brings with it, I don't think I could do it at my age. If you told me I had to learn 10 different subjects, whatever that may be, because loads isn't there.
Yeah.
I'll just not go through them all, but
yeah,
she did incredible.
Well done.
I think the relief of the passing them and getting what they want or they didn't want. So yeah, hats off to any person doing a GCSE, whether you passed or failed, it doesn't define you.
No, there you go. Nice.
It does not define you.
Yeah, nice. Well done. Well done to everyone.
Thanks for being deep, Andy.
Thanks for being deep, Andy. That wasn't as deep as you've gone before, though. So,
That sounds dodgy.
There's time. It does sound a bit dodgy. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Training around injury, guys. So, like I said in the intro, I not allowed to weight bear on my left arm for a period. And I messaged Harry immediately and said, "Oh, sorry, can't come to the gym." And he's like, "Well, we can do a leg day." And I'm like, "No, it's fine. I'll just, give it a miss." Is that normal?
That's generally what people do.
Yeah.
Unless they've experienced an injury and they've gone through that process with us, they're those that can't be the excuse. But don't take the excuse as a bad thing.
Yeah.
As a bad thing, I always brought it back to 2000. I forget when the Paralympics was now, but we trained Alexandra Rickham. Please excuse the pronunciation of the last name, and she was a Paralympian in sailing, and we trained her for the Olympics, and it was incredible. Now, when someone's in a wheelchair, you're holding on to them. They're strapped in the wheelchair, and they're doing a cable row. You think there is no excuse, is there?
Yeah, fair point.
She's my learn. That's a learning, but
fair point.
Honestly, fair point.
Yeah.
Anybody that comes up to you say, "I can't train in the gym," there is no excuse. Whether it's the mind, body, upper body, lower body, I don't care. There's no excuse unless you can't physically drive yourself there.
So just to be clear, for anyone who does have an injury and is avoiding the gym, there are different types of injury. So, for example, my injury involved stitches, which meant that I couldn't lift stuff and was at risk of bursting the stitches. But the point is that is one part of my body. Of course, coming to the gym and training means that you can train other parts of your body.
Of course, obviously there are things or injuries that you have that generally you can't. I remember training one of our members who had a cyst. It had a hole. I think they had pretty much a hole in a very awkward place, and they couldn't sweat at all. Like it was too much risk. Obviously, there's risk for reward, isn't there?
Yeah, but
there's a level of it.
The point more is that more often than not, and Ross, you were saying this, is you can train around an injury. So you've had a finger injury. Here we go again.
A finger injury, carry on.
At least he's got all of his fingers. I have half a finger.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so here we
Like half his clavicle.
Okay, so we've got a clav and a nickel. What's half a finger? A fin or a gur?
Oh, definitely a gur.
So we've got ickles and gurs.
So what do you want?
Training around an injury.
Yeah, it's the biggest bane of my life as a coach. It really does my head in when people come at me with, "Oh, I can't come and train today because of this reason." I'm like, well, what about all these other reasons why you can train?
But again, do you think it's a confidence thing? Do you think it's just a lack of knowledge?
No, I think it's just pure excuse. I think it's just pure excuse that just don't feel like training that day.
No, I disagree.
Really?
I totally disagree. I would have loved to have come into the gym. I just didn't think coming in was appropriate. So I disagree because I love coming in.
I'm not backing you up here, but he's wrong. I'm just joking. It is a pure excuse in a round. No, it is a pure excuse, but based off lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Would you
okay.
agree?
That I'm okay with.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what it is. It's an excuse based off something that you didn't know you could do.
Yeah.
But
and I'm willing, and I'm totally up for learning, which is why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, but what Ross is saying actually, it's when someone knows they know the score and they're making an excuse.
Okay, so in the spirit of sharing your guys' knowledge for people who might be listening to this going, I've got an injury and actually I don't think I can train, let's give people some confidence. So you can train when you've got an injury.
100%,
you 100% you can train. Great, tick. How do you train when you've got an injury? So my mental block was I can't lift anything. I didn't want to come in the gym because I was scared if I lifted something. So tell me, you're a coach. How do you coach me around training different parts of your body?
Well, yeah.
I'm happy for you to use me as a guinea pig, by the way.
First things first, you've got to assess the acuteness and the timescale of the injury. Sure, if they've just done the injury, then you are going to want to avoid it completely.
Yep.
But there is going to have to come a time when you're going to have to address that injury later down the line. And actually, the sooner you can do that, the better. Pain is a great way of letting you know whether you can or can't do something.
Yeah.
If you're doing something and it hurts, stop doing it or regress it. So when people come with excuses of like, oh, I'm not coming in because I can't do it. Well, we haven't even tried it yet because we haven't had you in to assess it.
Yeah.
So that's my
Okay.
issue.
So your advice, if we're turning it into a positive, is even if you think you can't, have the conversation.
Yeah.
Have the chat.
And at least try it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be trying it in a safe and controlled manner. It's not like, Ross, I have a back injury. Okay, well, let's see if you can still back squat what you did last week, just to make sure that what you're saying is correct. It's not going to be that. It will be come in and there'll be procedures in place.
Can you spell that?
Can't even bloody say it. To see where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's getting a clear diagnosis is really important. Managing pain is another clear important thing, which as a coach,
because on the flip side of that, you can have people that have an injury and come in and have a high pain threshold, and you got to sort of put the shackles on a bit to hold them back to make sure they don't make the injury worse. So there is a flip side to it as well.
Yes, of course. So what I'm hearing you say is modify, but don't quit.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
Yeah.
You can always modify. Just do not turn up.
Yeah.
Because there's always something we can do. Even if it's not just injury, even if it's like post illness and you're feeling a bit fatigued.
Yep.
I think people when they come to the gym, they see that we're working off of a program. Those programs are not set in stone. They're there as guidelines, really.
Yeah.
And they can always be adapted on the fly depending on the person's current situation.
I think recovery is also a really important one, isn't it? You could still come into the gym and do a recovery set.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily often think about, actually.
Yeah.
But within my program that I do, I know that there is it's not detraining.
Like a deload.
Like a deload.
Yeah.
That's right. After an intensive period.
Yeah.
Same thing. And if you have an injury, you can do that, can't you? Without it impacting you. Because before you speak, Andy, Harry said 2 or 3 weeks. If you don't train, you start to then, is it 2 weeks that you start losing your muscle?
Yeah, just start to revert back to type a little bit.
Okay.
Not necessarily start losing your muscle, and you can gain that muscle memory back quick anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks is when your body starts to change.
To revert a bit.
Yeah. So, if you can't do everything, still coming in and doing some of it is probably a good idea.
If it's just a walk or a cycle.
Yeah.
Or a swim.
Yeah.
Which we don't have here unless there's a flood.
which we have had, as we all know. Andy, what your thoughts?
Well, if you just take training as an activity, isn't it? Work's an activity, isn't it? If there was something that there was a bit of a blocker in your work, you just don't go home, do you? You don't go home and just not turn up anymore.
Exactly, that's true.
Do you?
Yeah, you just.
We're talking about training. Could be cycling.
Yeah.
Running, work.
Could be anything.
Meeting a family member. There's a blip. It's not quite right. So training's the same thing. Something's got in your way.
Yep.
And you just have to overcome that and just get on with it.
Yep.
If you've got a decent coach, and there's lots of decent coaches out there, they'll just adapt for you. So you'll have no problems.
But also training is about consistency and regularity. And if you then break that up through injury when you could have just carried on around it, that's when the mindset starts to shift, and it goes from like being highly motivated or disciplined to then suddenly having an injury, and then another excuse kicks in, and then now I feel a bit tired, and suddenly 1 week off from training because you've had an injury now becomes 1 month off from training. It's that. So it's not just the physicality of having an injury, but it's also the mindset shift of the regularity and the consistency.
Yeah.
If you jump ship at anything like straight away, then there's obviously there's considerations there. I would say if you have an injury or something like that, and you're like, I can't come to the gym, then why? No, why? Let's talk about it deeper. So, are you not enjoying what you're doing? Because people go to the gym, they don't really want to be there. They know they just need to do it, don't they?
I don't know that personally, but yes, I know.
But there's people that do it. Yeah. They just come to the gym and they know they've got to go through the process for it for many reasons.
Yeah.
But essentially, they are not liking what they're doing, possibly.
Yes.
But they have to have that honest conversation with the coach and say, what you're giving me is really boring. I don't like it. and you go, well, you have to do this
Oh, I'm not
because
seeing the
this
results.
is the reason.
Or, yeah.
So there has to be there has to be an honest conversation as to, you know, as to what you're doing. If you're easily swayed towards jumping,
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why Pinnacle has so many return customers and long-term people who stay with you is because of that conversation, is because of that checking in. It's because
Yeah.
of the conversations that you guys and the relationships that you build up with your
It's
clients.
also the drugs we put in the water.
Ah,
but you don't
is
know
that okay? Right. Andy was talking about drug dealing earlier.
drug dealing. Yeah, we don't talk about drug dealing.
There's a whole nother episode there.
Whole another episode
Okay,
for
so
life,
look,
life
I'm
choices.
listening to this podcast. I clicked on it because I wanted to hear about training through injury. The short answer is you can absolutely train through injury. You modify, you don't quit, and actually you can carry on training. There is no reason why you can't come in unless you are literally physically unable, and it's more excuses than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I think that's a good place to end this week because I think that's a
Absolutely.
great nugget. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. And for you who have listened, I hope that was interesting for you as it was for me. Have a great day. Like, listen, and share, or listen, like, and then share. Maybe listen to it first because otherwise, all of the above. Right. And do come back for more. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.